This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427.
I didn't mean to skip the fucking intro. It was so loud. Hey, look, you're under your real name. I was trying to adjust the audio and it just instantly skipped. Hmm.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It looked like it was just playing what I saw in the trailer. But I still wasn't trying to skip it. I was also muted for the first part of the stream, so I didn't even realize that either.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wait, why do I have to go through the left? Oh, there's 2 burnouts. Why do I have to go through the... that's bright, that's bright. Does this game have a dark mode?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Huh.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Why would I simply stand anywhere?
But eager to get back to business,
Why did
Stanley
all the
took
doors
the
shut
first
behind
open
me?
door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh. I'm bad at following directions. I can't jump, it just makes clicky sounds.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he's in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I'm super powerful. Look at me bounce. Yeah. God damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What happens if I follow every instruction?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Cabal
Stanley
planning
decided to
group.
go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
one is unique. Key most of all. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers to synergize fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of blah 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 blah. What do people want? Things. Money. Happy feelings, Violet James, you are fired. Money, more money. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs? Graphs about things with money. We have our new product. I wish jobs were real. We need more or less reviews. We need less reviews. 402 plus 405 wants to get rid of the death sport portion in their primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net. Some sort of child trap? Teenagers, size of demographic, space between the teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. 1. No more bins. Trash cans. Renaming of the ideas bin. Fixing of me. Hey Chris, you in there? Chris. I heard Chris was in the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Why do I keep hearing a clicking noise?
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, what did he do?
It feels very Portal-esque. Stanley's name is now Shell, and I work for a testing company. Oh, my neck hurts. I slept on the couch. I passed out watching Burnout
Descending deeper
stream.
into the building,
Sorry, Acer
Stanley
on.
realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't
I
wait
think I
to
broke the
find
game.
out. Stanley walked straight ahead through.
I think I broke the game. Well, that happened. I didn't think that would work, if I'm being completely honest. And apparently I can't click it again.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye
I
for
wasn't really
storytelling
trying,
that you
it just
have, an
happened.
incisive rapid fire of
I
critical
pushed the
plot
button and I
points,
jumped back
one
off.
after
I
the
was
other,
going to jump
weaving a
underneath it.
rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Okay. Can I go back down now? I can, but can I also fall between the... The answer is yes. I was stuck for a second.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator.
You think it'll
and going
annoy him
down
if I
again.
go
Ladies and
back up?
gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office
I
again?
found the first way
Or
to
what
fucking
if it's the
mess with
boss's
the
office
game.
this time? The suspense is killing me. Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
I broke it.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
I made the game mad. This is
All right.
don't fuck with me when I
I have
first woke
fully
up
come to
voice.
terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Something change? Welcome to my teeny. Welcome to my teeny black corner. Today's story time. Okay, I'm going.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago,
Should I do
this
it again?
kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Should I do it again?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of
Oh,
knowing
no.
what will be at
Oh,
the
no,
top
this
of
is
this
worse.
elevator. But the suspense,
This is the worst.
the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the event?
I will be right back. I have to turn a fan off. I'm getting hit with air in places I shouldn't be getting hit with air. It's too cold is what I'm getting at. I was overheating, now I'm freezing. It was too cold. It goes from too hot to too cold, too hot to too
This
cold.
is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And
Wait,
it's
let me off
really
there.
all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital
To
and
think,
alive.
this started
That's
because
why
I
people
tried
like
to
you
jump
so
off
much,
the elevator and
Stanley,
push the button to
because
make me
you're
go
not
back
afraid
up.
to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Uh,
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
the man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable, Stanley from the Stanley Parable tonight, live on stage.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
They predicted I would do this bullshit? How could anybody predict that I would go back in the elevator, go off the elevator, go back in the elevator, go off the... How? Why does it break a leg multiple times? I love the way you ride elevators. This is what the one in the middle says. No one tells stories the way you do. Alright, I'll go. God damn, it's loud. Motherfucker. Hello, Kate. I made the game mad at me. The narrator's not even talking
When
anymore.
Stanley came to a
Oh, there
set
it
of
goes.
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their
Who
dreams,
left their
the
lights on?
truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could
Hello,
just...
Emmer.
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream.
NASA was no longer
wish it
alive
to
when
be
I did my
over.
second raid.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my
Stanley's
life
not married. I call
exactly
bullshit.
the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control
Fuck
of
you,
my
Mariella.
mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, is that an ending?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. Oh, please. Are you
I didn't
really
know
just
this was
doing
a
this for the
thing.
achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437.
What is this? A Call of Duty Easter egg?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Wait, what? Where did 417 go? Oh.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
I don't remember where the copy machine was.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
I was thinking it'd be funny. We're not in the habit of laughing around here. I gotta stop for a second. Uh, I thought that Mariella cutscene was gonna take longer, and I was doing Duolingo. Son of a bitch, they took my queen. Seems like it, yeah. Continue. There we go. Well, now that I got that achievement, time to fuck off and... Well, I got it to do one thing. I feel like I'm in Severance, a show I never finished.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Spent
up to
40
his
minutes
boss's
doing
office.
the
Coming
opposite of
to
what
a
I was supposed
staircase,
to do.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Whoa. That didn't open before. Why? Why is that the business strategy? Tours monthly shapes. That's such a shiny paper. Up or down? I don't know what to do. I think I broke it. Alright. That was the ad break. That was the commercial break. Oh no. Let me jump.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Fuck you, narrator.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
You've
So
talked
he
plenty.
relaxed
Let
for
me
a few
go.
moments with some calming new age music.
Son of a bitch. Can't blame me for trying.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Oh, we're back to my corner. Back to my corner. I am stretching. I just woke up. Leave me alone. Wait, always make me stretch when I'm. Wait, I can go behind this thing? Oh, yeah. Mm. I clicked up. It's not going the right way. This elevator's broken. 0 to 10, can't play again. How is it at 5 a.m.? I got so many people actually here. It's crazy. But what if I went back in the elevator?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
It's
that
not
read
great.
Mind Control
That's why I'm
Facility.
using my controller today. This game is more had since it was on PlayStation, you know, I knew it was controller friendly, so which way? I don't want to escape. Take me, O mighty taker of minds. No.
The lights rose on an enormous room
Cerebro.
packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Cerebro. Well, I guess I'm supposed to just click this button, huh?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
It doesn't say I'm fired, but I thought I got fired. I'm 427. Right there. Bungee jump. Alright, Cerebro, Seth.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life
I thought
in
I got
someone
fired at the
else's
beginning of the
control? Never. It was unthinkable.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
I forgot I
Had he
accidentally skipped
truly
the beginning.
spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
It's like a UFO up in this bitch. Is God, what a day to wear glasses. What the fuck? I can't see. Okay.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
I didn't let him finish. You think he's mad about that? He's probably mad about that.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do,
Can I come
or
out
how
to
to
the end
feel.
now?
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open
The
door.
ants look like ants from up here.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This
Ah.
was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Can a plane hit me now? Is that the whole game? I feel like that was too short. What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
How do I know when I finished?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That was
Yet
the normal
there was not
ending?
a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Fapping in the corner. Fapping in the corner.
It was baffling that Stanley was still
What, Chris
just
sat
sitting
in
in
here?
the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet fuck all.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. It didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
And you wonder why the
I
door
never would
was
have
white
thought
on
to
the
mention it.
inside.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I don't have friends. I fap in a corner of a broom closet.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Narrator.
That or the
Fuck
drug
you.
money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
I don't know who Stanley is.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer
Pepsi,
is
back it
dead.
up.
They have
Back it up.
fallen prey to any number of your
Back up.
countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Look at this broom. That broom is so hot. Look at it. Such a hot broom. I'm gonna do dirty things to this wrench. I'm tired. I'm streaming at 5 a.m. What else am I gonna be?
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of animals. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby who can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Man, that duct tape sure looks a lot like a donut. Or a lug nut. Or a half nut. Nuts.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Extreme bathrooms. Alright.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Ad starts in 10 seconds.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nuh-uh.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Solitaire. Is this the credit scene? Is this the fucking asset room?
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you have even the most fundamental understanding.
Hmm. I have not found this room yet. There's a vent. Huh. Huh. Tink tunk subject gay. Are you gay? It's a Roblox game, basically. Okay, so that took me full circle. There was the swinging lamp room and the big Stanley Parable on-off switch I saw in the background. Let's go to the swinging lamp first.
Stanley stood on the roof. Stanley pushed the number 6. Then he pushed the number 8. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you? Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room? Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. I don't know. Well, in that case, I'll tell you what. You win. Congratulations. You did it. I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. What do we do now? I don't... Stanley, where are you right now? Where am I? I'm trying to figure out, but I can't... Stanley, who am I? Can you speak to me? Please talk. Have we done this before? Have we been in this room before? How many times have we done this? How many times have I said these exact words? Say something. Anything. Help me, Stanley. I don't know who I... What I... Stanley, help. Don't... Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't...
I'm good. So that's the other room. Did I go this way yet? Yes and no. I didn't look at this. Okay. So, time to go through the other door.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I'm sure you are. This is different. This is different.
All of his co-workers were
Unfortunately,
gone.
I didn't get
What could
this
it
through
mean?
Steam, so I don't
Stanley
get the
decided to
Steam
go to the meeting
achievements.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But it's fine.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
I walked
There's
off this
someone
the
you've
first
been
time,
neglecting,
so
Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
what the fuck?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day
hungry.
that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Huh. Okay then.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Stanley wonders how long it takes to
Hello,
die on this
and
ride.
thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Whee!
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
I'm only allowed 36 jumps in the whole game.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Are we? Are we ready?
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I didn't get any say in the matter at all. Okay, this is getting different. Huh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special
timing.
and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Last of Us in the category story. They act like games looked like this in 2013. They, in fact, did not. This is more of a 1997 thing. I don't know why it asked me to input my time at the beginning of the game. I started the game at 4:25 a.m. It is now 5:50 a.m. and I've not seen a correct clock anywhere. That's a forgery, it's missing the thing. I thought the achievement's for 10 years. Oh, fuck you, Mariella. I remember you, cunt. Oh.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, okay. Buy on Steam. Yeah, I didn't get this on Steam. Red door, blue door. I haven't encountered a red door, blue door yet.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I like work, I just hate my boss. The serious room? I came in through here.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
This game took meta and just shoved it up its own ass. Holy shit. And I don't mean meta like Facebook, I mean meta like the meta. Like, what is the meta?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I
This
feel
one says recommended.
like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
You know, I sent Alex the trailer for this game. I was like, do you think I should play this for stream? And he looks at it and he looks at it and he's like, yeah, I think your audience would like this. I think you'd enjoy it. So here I am. Already thinking about swapping to another game. Not because I'm bored or anything, but because I just feel like this could be completed in multiple days worth of
What's
plays.
this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Exactly.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say...
I like the narrator. I don't want to hit the skip button.
Or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power
I
of
see.
the button.
I
the minute
understand.
I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right.
I understand
Okay,
the
welcome back,
objective here.
Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Oh, the plant's
my
dead.
Goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
I understand the assignment.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
There's no door, so the only thing I can do is hit skip. The clock fell
But they
off the
didn't
wall.
understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and...
How many fucking times do I gotta skip before I can continue the
The
game?
end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Appears to be water getting in. Well, that's not good. It's like that movie Click. Well, I guess I'll just go this way then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Tips for not
disbelief,
getting fired.
Stanley
Don't
decided to
get
go
fired.
up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Why is it doing that? Am I breaking the game? What?
Here's the door.
I think I did break it that time. Is it normal? Because the door is a black hole. I can no longer go through. And I can't go through this door anymore. I think I soft locked the game. It is flashing at me a lot. Oh. I didn't think I could break a game that was intentionally broken. Well, shit. It crashed, yeah. I'm looking at my desktop. Uh, You haven't seen that one happen? That's funny. Fucking clip that or some shit. Broke the door, couldn't get back through the door. I started walking back towards the bathroom, and now I'm just at my desktop. Fuck. I don't know why it crashed. I'm gonna take this moment to pet the dogs. Well, fuck. Now I can't stop fucking yawning. It's only been 2 hours. Hi, Pepsi. What you doing, bud? Give you a little hug. Tickle boy. Well, now what? I just go back? We're gonna go to a be right back. I will be right back. So, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna try to reopen it. God damn it. Okay then.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Of course, now the dog really wants my attention. Hey, buddy, I love you, but can you back it up? Can you back up? Back up. Ugh. Back up means back up. Stop, Dick.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
I'll go that way.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
New computer, old phone.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an
Taste the
artistic
sequel.
statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Nothing against Kevin Brighting, but I'm starting to get a headache from all the white. What happened to my VTuber? Why is it frozen? My mouth still moves. What the fuck? Oh. It's the privacy thing on the camera fell down. I didn't see it. I'm dumb. Yeah, I get it. I got the joke.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the
I don't have
features
family
I've been
reunions.
developing for it. I
an
figure
orphan.
that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Arkham 7-2 City. I hate this place. Let me out. Let me out of this obnoxious ass room.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
There's no shot. There's no shot that this button can say my name. Say my name.
For the
say my
Stanley
name.
Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself
fuck
to
off.
become Jim. Imagine
Fuck off.
yourself driving to work as Jim. playing frisbee on the
pulling my
weekends as
cables.
Jim, staying
Stop,
up all
you're gonna
night
break
for a
it.
popcorn and horror movie
Move.
sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim. And all right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
This game's so fucking bright. Could be playing Ghost Recon right now. With my friends.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
It's so bright. Yeah, I think I'm getting close to the end of what I can do today. My head's starting to hurt.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No, because you said I could fall forever.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport
No,
button
you
to
said I
go
could
back
fall
to the
forever.
top.
Fuck you.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Your hole's not infinite, is it?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
You lied to me.
Hey, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Me?
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Burnout. Of course I'm gonna go deep.
Look,
If you
things
don't
got a little
stop me by
heated there. I
squeezing
think
your
we
thought,
both said
okay.
some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
He wants me to do that, so I refuse. I have free will. If he didn't want me to go deep, he should have squeezed harder. Alright, so now for our lecture at the bottom of the hole. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Hold on. That's just the lyrics to Just the Two of Us by Will Smith. Just the two of us, we can make it if we try, just the two of us. Building condos in the sky? God, that's really hard to read.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to... Oh, for heaven...
You
I was right. The problem is
a
you.
good girl.
The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem
Much
even
shorter,
to
yes.
you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
Why is it getting shorter?
Okay, yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
Put some water in it. Make it a kiddie
Who am
pool.
I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
No. What I said, and I'm reading it right here. It is a song by him. It was inspired by the love song of the same title. It samples and incorporates lyrics from the original, but I didn't say that. The original is a song about love between a couple. His is him and Jaden Smith. It's a song about a love the father has for his son.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole Have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Exactly. There is a song by the same name that it is samples, but it is not the same song. Now, to move on from that subject, these are in fact the lyrics to that song. Uh-oh. Well, going back down, I guess. It's gonna eat me now. Look, I'm that awful girl from The Ring. This one doesn't do anything. We live here now. Dinosaurs. No, dead dinosaurs. Puppies. There we go. Poppers. Oh no, I got the Jeb spell. Is it Jeb or is it Dinnerbone? I can't remember which.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away to dream. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
Oh, I've got the
how
music
about
down,
if I
that's
just
why.
pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
I didn't
Here
push
we
the
are.
button.
Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Buckets? Mostly infinite hole.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
It's my bucket now. The button that says gym.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Not that sound. I hate that sound. You are here. If I'm there, why don't I see the jump circle, which is supposed to be directly across from me? Oh, it is the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then. Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
God, my head hurts.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I've been to the jump circle, the free achievement, the button that says gym, settings world champion. I have not seen that. I got the reassurance bucket. Settings world champion. Settings, yeah, that is right over here. doesn't do anything. Office decorations, already went in there. The merch area I cannot go into. I think that's everything. Epilogue. Where's the epilogue at? Semicolon. Directly around the corner. Right here. Yeah.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Oh. Oh, that's everything. Time to go to the exit.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Taking this bucket with me.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
I'll make you gag.
Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the
tastefully,
Stanley
of course.
Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Where's my bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Speedrun.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find out. Coming to
Speedrun.
the staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the
With the
boss's
bucket.
office.
Speedrunning of the bucket.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
They
Was
keep
the
mixing up
bucket
the 4 and the
guiding
8.
him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Alright, Bucket, you and me. We're going to new places. Fuck everything else. Me and this
The
Bucket are
elevator
going
raced
places.
downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
After this ending, I'm going to,
No! He screamed into the
Go.
bucket. He couldn't
Tired,
accept it. His
still,
own life
and
in
I'm
someone
hungry.
else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating,
Yeah.
working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Last time I was here, I
As
pushed
the
the off
cold
button.
reality of his
gonna
past
try the other
began
button
to
this
sink
time.
in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly,
God damn it,
silly
Forbes.
birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of
Pinging.
all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. and Stanley was happy.
It's the only way Stanley finds happiness, right? My bucket! Well, it is time for me to go. I might do another stream later in the day. I don't know if I'll come back to this game. There's too many endings. I got the general storyline, I get it. I don't know if I'll come back though. Mostly because it's just it's a lot. It's a short game, but trying to find each and every ending. I don't know. I might try out Generation Zero tonight. I might play it again, I don't know. I just yeah. Oh. There was a crouch the whole time? I kept trying to read stuff, didn't know I could crouch.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
For the love of God, please unplug me. This... I can't read that top part. The damp carpet. The trips you call conventions? Kill me. I have been printing these for weeks. Why has no one turned me off yet? Fling me from the window. Send a hammer through my paper tray. The method matters not. The hammer lurks at my menu. All I desire, release. I don't see a hammer.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? General questions about bucket filing. Or bucket filling, sorry. Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. Knowing your city. Is this the only thing I can do with this is make it input once? Huh. Well, that's gonna be it for me for now. I hope everybody gets the rest that they need. I'm gonna go find some food. I am hungry, and I cannot remember what I last ate. I think it was mac and cheese before my second stream yesterday. So, Yeah, plus my wrist is hurting again, so it's time. We got a 2.5 hour early as shit stream. I'll take it. Good luck with your Magic the Gathering later. Remember, if you don't want it to go too deep, you gotta clench the cheeks a little. Just a little.